Good afternoon, people. Afternoon, it's proper late, but I'm going to do a bit of a night shift, I think. Going to work late. I've been helping my friend out. I went to look at his little quad bike and a car, and I've been talking to a couple of lads about, basically, the charity that I'm going to support in the summer, the rehab. I was talking to a couple of lads and telling them about the rehab because they're thinking about going. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing all day, basically. But yeah, come down here a bit late. Luke was like, "No, don't bother. It's a bit late, but giving me something to do." So yeah, but I see he's been working on it a little bit. He got the clutch going. He put a new bearing in there. Sweet. Yeah, look at that. Sweet. No cover on it, mine. Yeah, that's one thing with Luke. He always does a good job, you know. He's never happy unless it's like spot on, which is good. But then it takes a long time and costs a lot of money. But yeah, so basically, gonna look to see one thing. Get my head sorted out. There's a grease nipple in here that I need to. It's like it's blocked, so that's one of the next jobs I want to get sorted out, because obviously I did that the other day. I got this nice new traction belt, but I noticed I greased all that shaft before I put that back together, because obviously that inner part of the variator moves, it slides in and out on the shaft, and it's grease on it. I greased it before it went, but I didn't think to clean out that greaseway. So that's one of the jobs I'm going to do in a minute. But I've been looking at and looking into doing it. I don't really want to do it, but it's a job that does need doing. There's a little bit of play in the end of this shaft here. So we'll go put the light on. There is a little bit of leak. To be honest, it ain't too bad. But Luke wants to do it. The pressure's low when it's hot, so it could be a number of things. But generally, I think like it could be the gauze on the filter, the suck filter for the pump. But it could also be a hole in the pipe for the sucker, so it's letting air into the thing. Don't think it is either of those things. There might be that in the mix a little bit, but I think the main thing is there's a little bit of play in the main bearings on the crank, and so there's a little bit of float on the end. So there's a tiny bit of oil. There's not a lot, a tiny little bit of oil coming out, which is classic of these because of the pressure put. This belt puts pressure on that because there was no proper housing. This really needs a proper housing here. The later models have like a reinforcer on the cowl in there. But basically, the pressure put on there sort of wears away at that end, and it damages the seals. And I think what happens is that little bit of play and a little bit of wear on the bearings is enough that, like when it's cold and the oil's like nice and thick, the pressure holds. But as soon as the oil starts to thin out as it gets warm or as it gets hot, it starts to sort of like get past easier, so it's not routing to the other parts of the engine because it's got an easy way out. It's got an easy way to fall back into the system. That's my theory anyway. So I'm going to take it off. Yeah, it's not really a gamble as such, but it's just a bigger job that we're going to take on, that obviously needs to be done by harvest time. And you know, you think, oh, it's April. Yeah, there is plenty of time, but obviously because I work full time and everything like that, and there's other stuff going on, it's something that potentially I will be working late into the night to get it done and everything like that. Because I want it, and like I say, with me and Luke, especially with the engine, it's got to be right. You know, it's got to be right. There's no point even doing it if we're not going to do it right. But the engine's sweet as a nut. It's just that little bit and the concern about it. Chap from the Isle of Wight put that I went to visit. His name's terrible. I've forgotten his name. But he put a 6-cylinder engine off a Gleaner, one of these engines, into a tractor, and he found that was low pressure, and he had got the crank out of it. He's got a young lad who comes down and does a lot of his stuff for him. A young engineer. You know, he's got quite a lot of work going on. This young lad, it seems, on the island. And he went and had the crank reground for him, put new bearings in it. And apparently it holds 60 bar, or 60 bar or whatever. It holds the good, 60 good pressure. Constant engine pressure, which is good feed. But like I say, my other humpback actually does have low pressure as well. But what I did was I put supercharged oil thickener in it, and it's been fine ever since. It is a job that needs doing, but it has been fine. One day I noticed it was working, and I was like, oh, there's no oil pressure at all. So I thought, oh, quickly I'll do something about that. It's been like it for years, and it's just carried on going. And it runs beautifully, starts beautifully, and everything. But apparently Glenn, that's his name, he found a little bump on the crank, a little like lump, and he had it like smoothed off. But anyway, I'm going to get on with something. But first of all, I'll see if I can show you the play in this crank. Hello, mate. Yeah, it doesn't seem that much when you're only looking at it now, but there is a leak there, and it does have low pressure. So, yeah, it's just something you can't really see it on the film, but it is there. There's a little bit of a leak in that. So, yeah, one of the things to look into. I've got a proper Perkins book as well, booklet for these engines that gives you all the breakdown of how to do all the different things to it. It's a really good book actually, so that's one thing that I'm going to look at and get my friend to look at as well. So yeah, all right, I'll catch up with you in a minute if anything interesting comes up. All right, bye. So I've had discussion with my co-pilot, with my friend, and we're going to take the engine off. We're going to do it. So we're going to put the wheel on, move the combine back, and lift the engine off. Gonna then take all the appendages off it. Well, we've got to unbolt a few bits and pieces now. And yeah, we'll lift it off and put it on my little engine hoist tonight, and we might even take the bottom end off it. Obviously we've got to drain the oil out, but it's all happening. So yeah, we decided we're going to do it. I haven't got a clue what we're going to find, but there you go. It's all doable. So yeah, this could be interesting. I'll see you in a minute. There you go. So we've decided we're going to take the engine off outside because the loader will reach to the engine, but we're scared it won't reach high enough to take off. So our best bet is to do it outside and then roll the combine back in again. We'll push it in by hand, and then the engine is off. We don't want to get stuck in here with the engine up in the air and have to mess about, so we're going to do it that way. So we're going to start it up and run it out now. That's it, innit? That'll do, won't it? The engine certainly runs sweet, doesn't it? I mean, listen to it. We'll do maybe do the points. Even not points, what am I on about? The tappets. They're like set distances and that. But yeah, runs really well. I mean, listen to it. There's no like hideous noise from it, is there? So yeah, great. Gonna get it off. See you in a minute. Yeah, we're doing a night shift. I've got a head torch, so we can see what we're doing to some degree. I think I decided, I woke up late, I had a lot of stuff to do. Obviously I'm doing the videos as well, which takes up time, but I like doing them because it's nice to record what we're doing and let other people see it. But yeah, we're taking the engine off like I said earlier, and it's black as the ace of spades out here. But I think there might be a few more of these shifts just to get the work done, you know. One of them things, working late at night, better than watching flipping some crap like Emmerdale or something like that. You know, it could be a lot worse. And yeah, so looking forward to good things. The engine's almost there. I just took these steering pipes off, and my co-pilot has put some tape on it so we know which one which. Yeah, so all good. That'd be interesting if it was trying to steer the wrong way, wouldn't it? Yeah, see you in a minute. And I don't think we're going to take it apart, so we'll have a quick look around it. Put the combine back in the shed, push it in. It'll be significantly lighter without the engine. Put the engine on some blocks, and then I'm going to give my friend the booklet in the week, so he can have a look through it as well. And then we'll get cracking, and a couple of more night shifts, and we'll have it all back together again, hopefully. And hopefully it doesn't cost us too much money, and hopefully it works properly afterwards as well. So yeah, all good. Yeah, which ones do you want? These black handled? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, so cracking on up the top, take the exhaust off, take this off. I mean, yeah, there we go, nice engine. I'll tell you what, when we started it started straight up, boom. You know, no messing about, real nice runner, beautiful. I don't think it's going to take much to sort it out. I think we do, you know, the bearings to get that free play out of it, and put a bit of reinforcement on their radiator cowling, like the Super C's got, just to prevent it from happening. Now, man, this combine should outlive us, you know, in the right situation, providing nothing horrible happens. Right, catch you in a minute. There you go, look. Try not to get too much oil on my feet. One combine engine. Right. There you go, good stuff. Oh, battery's gone out, but you know, look at me in the dark. I had to put it on charge, 2 seconds. Hey up, nearly dropped it. There you go. Good day in the workshop. So yeah, we got so far anyway. We've got the engine off. So simple, really, to get them off. And you think these are actually a pleasure to work on, you know. I actually really like this type of combine. Really, well, I mean, I've said it before, of course I have. But it's just something about them, you know. I was attracted to them first of all when I was little because of the way they look. But actually, I like them now because they're just nice to work on for me personally. I mean, obviously not everybody's cup of tea, but you know, just to be able to take the engine off like that. You know, I'm not saying everything on it's simple, but I mean, compared to this modern stuff, you know, really, it's a dream to work on. You know, take the engine out, a couple of hours. I didn't get down here until 7 o'clock, or just before 7 o'clock. You know, what's the time now? It might be 10 o'clock, something like that. So just committed, and we weren't rushing about nothing and just tinkering around, and we got it off. And I dare say it wouldn't take us that long to get the crank out and get it sent off. Well, depending on what's wrong with it, but I dare say we're going to get it sent off, get it reground, get some fresh bearings put in it. We might as well. Well, we'll check. I think we're definitely doing the main bearings, the holder bearings, the ones that hold crank in place. But the big ends on the rods, on the con rods, the pistons, do them. Yeah, but only if they need doing, obviously. There is literally no point doing anything if they don't need doing it, you know. So we fix what's broken basically, and obviously have a look at the snork there. They're basically the drink straw for the pump. Look at that and see what that's about. Change, obviously we give it a good service as well, change the oil filter and everything like that. I mean, that's all just fairly standard stuff obviously, but yeah. What was it? The strainer gauze as well, this could be a problem. I mean, people have mentioned different things on different groups and stuff like that, people who've done it, and obviously I have took engines to bits before and that, so I know roughly, but I've never took one of these combine engines before. So actually, this is actually, in many senses, almost like the final frontier for me. I haven't been inside the engine for a Gleaner, so it's one of the only parts of a Gleaner I haven't actually entered into yet. I've been in the corner box, the differential. Admittedly, I've never rebuilt a gearbox either. So the gearbox and the engine, but all the other parts of the transmission I've done, but I've never needed to do a gearbox. So it just never happened, if you know what I mean. Turn the light off so I can dazzle you. But yeah, nice day. Everything gone really well. You know, I had quite a good day. Really on the whole, you know. I mean, it's a lovely looking engine, isn't it? I mean, look at it. Really nice, clean, tidy. Runs beautifully. Where's the serial number? Look, there's the serial number. Can't really see it that well. I think that says 3514071. That's your. So I think 35 obviously is the 6305, and it is a 6305. I'm pretty sure of it because that's what they had on there. It is almost 100%. But the 305 and the 6288, which is the direct descendant of the original P6, but it's obviously the same as this in the sense that it's got the pump. But to look at, you know, to the untrained eye, it looks basically the same. I can usually just tell the difference when I'm looking at them, especially on the Model A Gleaners. You can see like when they've got a 305 on, because the trumpet, like the bell housing for the drive shaft is shallower on a 305 from what I've seen. Just slightly shallow, and you can just notice it, because I've seen it before on people's combines. I'm going, oh, has that got a 305 on it? Just like glancing around it, just noticed. Yeah, brilliant. Top job. So we're getting there. Like we say, committed to the job. Just get on with it now. Got an engine stand there. We've got a decent engine stand. I actually went to, what's it called? Forfar or something like that in Scotland, near Stirling. That isn't the name of it. There's two big horses' heads by the side of the road. Big statues, massive things. And I drove past that to get there. We went past where the Battle of Stirling happened and all that. And anyway, when I got that from a company that used to rebuild the ferry engines. The ferries come into port and they have a certain like pocket of time where they refit a certain time span. One cylinder or whatever's got to be fitted and refitted, and they make them deliberately easy that you can just get in and do it, and they just got to, you know, straight in, all done. You know, it's a rhythm they have. But this geezer that was into doing up engines, he had this for sale. And I don't know whether he made it himself or what, but it seemed really good. Never actually used it yet for anything. But the idea was to actually use it on my original Model C, the one that caught fire. I was going to rebuild the engine on that, but of course that's all gone now. But yeah, we're going to use it on that nice big thing. Turn it around smoothly. Obviously you'll see it when we get it going. But anyway, I'm going to go now. I'm going to go home, go to bed, and yeah, we're ready to rock and roll again next week. All right, see you later.